The most ruthless hitman in Mexico is also a priest. He hides his face behind the cross. He carries a symbol of the god he has abandoned. He serves both God and vengeance. He collects souls and indulges in extreme violence. This is Father Bartolo. It's the 90s. Bartolo was the top enforcer for a powerful cartel. But after a violent home invasion, he becomes disillusioned with the cartel and its brutal leader, Don Aries, and leaves it all behind. Seeking forgiveness for his sins, he converts to Catholicism and becomes a priest. But old habits die hard, and his past soon catches up with him. When a new gang invades his hometown and threatens his flock, he must use his brutal old skills to protect them. Now, hiding his face behind the cross he carries, he becomes known only as the Steel Cross, while fighting the good fight and saving the innocent. He is tormented by visions of his former life. Is he cursed? Is this what hell feels like? As he fights to save his community, will he also save himself from the darkness inside him? The cartel, the priest, and the gangrene are three words that don't usually go together. But somehow this film manages to combine all three into an action drama that can only be described as Punisher meets Daredevil. It's ultra-violent, incredibly well-made, and surprisingly thought-provoking. This is a Mexican production that was filmed entirely in the deserts of Baja California. For anyone familiar with the region, you know how perfect of a location it is to depict a desolate wasteland where violence is king. The film looks great. It doesn't shy away from showing violence, and there are some truly disturbing images that stick with you long after the film ends. If you like your films gritty and realistic, then this one's for you. And if you like your films to have a little bit of heart, then this one's also for you. Because while the ultraviolence is on display, the film also tackles themes of faith, morality, and redemption. What I found most interesting about the film is how they decided to make the main character not just a morally ambiguous ent, but a conflicted one as well. We're talking about a man who literally used to be a hitman for a cartel. Yet he seeks redemption by becoming a priest, all the while being tormented by visions of his former life. You can tell that the filmmakers put a lot of thought into this character because you never really know if he is having these visions, because he is actually possessed, or if he is having these visions because he still feels guilty about his past. The ambiguity of it all is what makes the film so damn intriguing. The acting in the film is fantastic. Every performance feels natural and believable, especially the lead actor. Noam Carretier plays Father Bartolo with a quiet intensity that is both magnetic and unsettling. His internal conflict is clear on his face, even when he's trying to hide it. The supporting cast is equally impressive, with standout performances from Tenoch Huerta as the menacing gang leader, and Dolores Heredia as the strong-willed Mother Superior. The story is pretty simple. A gang invades a small town and terrorizes the locals. Father Bartolo arrives to help and soon finds himself at odds with the gang. What follows is a series of brutal confrontations as Father Bartolo uses his skills to protect the town and its people. But the story isn't just about the action. It's also about Father Bartolo. It's inner turmoil as he struggles with his faith and his violent past. The film does a good job of exploring these themes, and it raises some thought-provoking questions about morality, redemption, and the nature of good and evil. For example, there is a scene in the film where Father Bartolo is confronted by one of the gang members he killed earlier in the film. The gang member taunts him, asking why he became a priest after all the bad things he did in his life. Father Bartolo replies, "I didn't do those things. I was a soldier. I was following orders." This raises questions about the nature of good and evil. Is Father Bartolo really evil? He was just doing his job. So was Don Aries, the cartel boss he worked for. So was the gang leader. Everyone in the film seems to be just following orders. Another thought-provoking scene occurs near the end of the film when Father Bartolo is approached by a young boy who asks him why he wears the cross if he doesn't believe in God. Father Bartolo responds, "I do believe in God. I just don't know if he believes in me." This raises questions about faith and doubt, which are universal human experiences. Who among us hasn't doubted their faith at some point in their lives? Who among us hasn't wondered if God really loves us? It's rare to find a film that is both ultra-violent and thought-provoking, but this one pulls it off. The film also explores the idea of redemption. Can a man who has done bad things in his life ever be redeemed? Can he ever atone for his sins? Father Bartolo seems to believe that he can. He seeks redemption through his work as a priest, helping the poor and the sick and trying to bring light into the darkness. The action scenes in the film are intense and well choreographed. The fight scenes are brutal and bloody, and they never feel gratuitous. They serve the story, and they help to develop the character of Father Bartolo. They also help to build the world of the film, which is a world that is often brutal and unforgiving. The film doesn't shy away from showing the violence of this world, but it also doesn't exploit it. The violence is shown matter-of-factly, which makes it all the more impactful. There is a scene in the film where Father Bartolo is attacked by several gang members, and he defends himself using a knife. The scene is shot in a single take, and it's incredibly tense. It's one of the best action scenes I've seen in a long time. Another great action scene occurs when Father Bartolo takes on a group of heavily armed gang members. He's outnumbered and outgunned, but he manages to hold his own. This scene is a great showcase for the stuntman and fight choreographer involved, because it is incredibly well staged and executed. And let's talk about that ultra-violence for a second. This ain't your grandma's priest story. The film doesn't shy away from depicting the brutality of the world that Father Bartolo inhabits. There is a lot of blood and guts on display, and it is never shown in a gratuitous way. The violence in the film is always impactful, and it serves to further the story. In a film about a priest who used to be a hitman, you can expect some extreme violence, and the film delivers. But it's not just the violence that makes this film so intense. It's also the moral ambiguity of the characters and the thought-provoking themes that are explored. This is a film that will make you think long after the credits have rolled. At first glance, the film might seem like a typical action flick. After all, it's about a tough guy who takes on a bunch of bad guys and wins. But there's much more to the film than that. It's a film about faith, doubt, redemption, morality, and evil. It's a film that will stay with you long after you've seen it. So if you're looking for something different, something that will challenge you and make you think, then look no further. This is a film that you need to see.